So a couple of weeks ago, I was talking about the serious risk of nitrogen variability this year due to the water sitting around, the warm weather, the late crest. You know, the water's just coming off the fields now. There's a lot of fields that are saturated with this 20-degree weather. So in a lot of the early samplings or fields that we just soil sampled this last week, we're seeing in some cases that the nitrogen has gone up. We're seeing in some cases that there's been significant loss. The good news is up until now, we don't seem to have lost much denitrification. We had one field that had about 30 acres that were underwater for a considerable amount of time, and we don't seem to have lost any more nitrogen there than on the rest of the field. But a lot of our numbers are showing a small loss of nitrogen, which is to be expected from fall to spring. It will still need to see what kind of effects this has on fertilizer that was fall applied. But a lot of our numbers also collaborate with the province. In talking to John Hurd and some of his work and some of the other agronomists in the province, there seems to be a 10 to 20% loss, which so far is minimal, but these are not really on fields that have had much water sitting on them. So stay tuned and find out. Other than that, in these last week, with the warm weather, we've definitely seen weeds take a hold on a lot of fields, so there's lots of stuff coming up. Producers are commenting they're seeing more foxtail barley than they have in the last couple of years, more perennials, things like that. So we did have a bit of a wet fall once it did rain last fall, which I think some of these weeds took hold, but we're seeing a lot more of them this year, and a slew of other weeds from stinkweed to lots of volunteer canola, etc. So this is only the beginning of what we're going to get for weeds. We've been spoiled the last couple of years. It being so dry, we didn't really have much weed pressure on a lot of fields, but I think that'll change this year with the moisture conditions. So just a reminder that you should not forget any kind of pre-emerge on fields that are really weedy. We got to give the crop the best start possible. I know the focus right now is on seeding, and that should be priority number one, but we can't ignore the weeds. There are some cases where we definitely need to get out there, and it'll be to our advantage to take care of them early. So till next time, have a good one.